Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you how to cut some bone-in Boston butt country style and some boneless. So this is the Boston butt, pretty much what we're doing right now, just cleaning it up a little bit. And this is the same meat they used to make pulled pork. We're going to flip it over, just squint it to make sure we take off all the excess fat. So now what we're going to do is we're just scraping the fat off the back. This is just going to make it easier and less work at the end. So you just want to cut it, scrape it, and throw it in the tray. So right now we're just prepping it, so taking all the fat off the back, because the Boston butt does come with a great deal of fat on the back. So we're just trying to make the job a lot easier. So once again, just taking off the unnecessary fat that you don't want to put with your country style, because eye appeal is by appeal. So, and when you tray your meat, you also make sure it look nice and neat. So taking this fat off is just going to make the process easier and quicker, because pretty much normally what they'll do is you cut them, then you got to trim the fat off. So if you do it like this, it just make the process a lot easier. So like I said, always make sure you have on your safety gloves. Always make sure your knife is sharp. A sharp knife is a safe knife, so you just want to keep that in mind. The sharper your knife, the safer it's going to be. And sometimes, you know, it's a little uneven, so I'm just squaring them up because you want the country style to be nice and even in the tray. So you want to set it about an inch, no more than an inch. Inch cut steaks. Once again, just squaring it up. There you go. Cut them an inch. And there you go. It's usually sometimes you can get 3-piece or 2-piece, depends on how far back the bone goes. And there you go. So that'll be a Boston butt country style. Alright, so you just want to cut it directly down the middle to split the bone. And there you go. That'll be your country style. So once again, you just want to cut it directly down the middle. And there you go. That'll be your bone-in Boston butt country style. That's what it looks like. And on this one is also, we're going to do the boneless as well. So split them down the middle. And at the end, we're going to separate the boneless from the bone-in. And once again, this one, you don't really need too much scoring on this one. This one's pretty good. So it's going to do, like I said, 1-inch cut steaks. Straight down the middle. A lot of times, so we're going to end up with, and there you go. Sometimes you have to like make it a little thicker or smaller. So okay, once again, you want to make sure they're even. So if one is shiny too much, you can always shrink it down a little bit. And there you go. And just split it down the middle, and that's how you do it. And when you're scraping your pork or beef, always scrape it on the bandsaw before you move it to the table, because if you don't, all you're doing is just transferring the dust from the saw to the table. And then you got to scrape it, you're going to put it back down in the dust. So just better to just scrape it on the bandsaw itself. And you always want to get the dust off, because you don't get the dust off, it doesn't look good, and it's going to make the bone turn a lot quicker, because that bone dust is going to make the meat turn quicker. So you definitely want to scrape it off, and it just looks good, and it's going to last a lot longer in the case because you scrape the bone dust off. So there you go. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now, just scraping all the dust off. As I said earlier, eye appeal is by appeal. And that's one of the hardest things about being a meat cutter. Just you have to make sure the meat look good, because if it doesn't look good, it's not going to sell. It doesn't matter how much it costs. If you don't sell it, what's the point of cutting it? There you go. Like I said, always scrape on the bandsaw. That way you don't transfer the dust onto the cutting block. There you go. Make sure you scrape them nice and neat. Get all the dust off that you can. Because nothing worse than buying some meat and going home as a customer and then it's just full of bone dust. It's not, people most likely not going to come back to shop. So once again, you want to make sure everything is always nice and neat. And you see how they're all nice and neat and they're not fatty because of the prep work we did earlier. And yeah, like I said, this was the same meat you used to make Boston butt. Used to make pulled pork. So the Boston butt is what you used to make pulled pork. And once again, you gotta know how to put it in the tray correctly. So there you go. That's how we trade them. So that's the best way to do them right there. You just set them in. It's usually 3 or 4 to a tray. Depends how big they are, but that's usually how you're gonna put them. 4 to a tray, or depends what tray you use. It could be 2 to a tray. So all depends on how you sell them. And that one will be the boneless one. So we only end up with 1 pack of boneless. It's on sale, so So there you go. We're gonna put the boneless ones in the tray. Like I said, this is gonna be really, really soft, and it's gonna make a great rib. You can do it on the grill or in the oven. So somebody asked me to make this video, so I definitely did it. Like I was always telling, if you're having a suggestion of